Welcome to My Spoonie Sisters, featuring stories from special guests dedicated to empowering those with chronic illness. Our goal? To connect people and provide the support and tools they need to live a better life. For those with chronic illness, our energy levels just fade faster. We must be more purposeful with the spoons allotted to us. So grab your coffee or tea, sister, and tune in as My Spoonie Sisters share stories of living with chronic illness. Hi, my Spoonie Sisters. It's your host, Gracefully Jen, and I have the pleasure of bringing back one of our guests from, oh my gosh, can you believe it? 2 years ago. So excited to catch up with her. Alison, how are you?
Hello. I am super excited to be back on here and super excited that you've reached 100 episodes. Congrats to you.
Thank you. It's absolutely crazy. I didn't even know what to expect with this when starting because, I'm just little old me. But I think it's thanks to all of you that we've stayed on track and grown into what we are. And I can't thank all of you enough. And it's great that we've all stayed in contact and we still get to connect and have fun.
Yeah, definitely. You keep it fun. You're a ringleader of fun, I think. So you keep
I
it.
sure try. I'm so thankful that all of you are up for all my crazy shenanigans. But when I started this, I told everyone I want this to be a community. I want this to be a place of fun and hope and joy, and not where we just come and complain. So yeah. I think we've done it. I think we have.
Definitely.
All right. So for all of the new listeners out there, let's kind of give a background about you and your diagnosis story. We don't have to dive into the whole thing, but tell as much as you want.
Okay. So I was diagnosed officially back in 2018, after a year or so of kind of putting it off, saying, oh, I just need to drink more water, or there's nothing wrong with me, type of thing. But I was officially diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, and at the age of 28. It was an interesting discovery. I had never really heard of it, and I just kind of felt alone and didn't understand what's going on. And I got paired with a specialist who she had a practice and she had a couple PAs under her. I met with one PA and then he left. And then I met with another one and then he left. And then I met with the primary doctor at this office and they put me on a medication and it was fine. And I didn't know what to expect. So I did a little bit better, but I was still in immense amounts of pain and all this horrible stuff. I wasn't living. I was just barely surviving. I felt like after a little bit of craziness at her office, she actually switched to I don't know exactly what they call it, but you had to pay to be a patient of hers. I had to pay a yearly fee. Yeah. So it was an expensive yearly fee to see her as a doctor. And I was just I still feel horrible. I don't have the disposable income at the time to pay this thousands of dollars a year to see her on top of copays and everything. So I kind of did a little research and found another office downstate. I live in Michigan, so I live up in northern Michigan. If we get our handy dandy map out, we're up here at the tip. And then downstate, I got paired with a doctor. And there's always a really funny story about my doctor and how I met him. So before I ever met him or was introduced to him, even knew his name, I just knew I was going to see a new doctor at this Great Lakes Center of Rheumatology. 3 days before, it was Labor Day or Memorial Day weekend. And I was visiting my friend at a local shop here in town where I live. And these people come in and they're like, oh, we're boating from Mackinac or downstate. We're on our boat and our boat broke down. So they stopped in the harbor and they came to the shop and they're like, oh, we're from East Lansing. We didn't plan to stop here. And I talked to the older gentleman for a little bit and I said, oh, you should stop here. You should go see this place. There's not a lot open on Sunday where I live. And he's like, oh, thanks for the advice. And then I go down to my doctor's appointment 3 days later and this gentleman was my doctor. And I had no clue. And we just have decided ever since then, it was fate. We were supposed to meet. He was supposed to be my doctor. He has been such a blessing in my life. I honestly feel like he gave me my life back because before I could barely walk. I could barely dress myself. And I just thought that's how I was going to live my life because I didn't know I could be better. Tony is his name. He is my savior, I think. And he just told me at my last appointment he is retiring. So I'm so sad because he's ready to retire. He needs to retire. He needs to enjoy his life with his family and stuff like that. But I'm just so sad. But yeah. And then the other thing, when I met with Tony for the first time, one thing has always stuck out with me. And when I met with him, he looked at me and he just looks with this really sad look in his eyes, like, kid, they left you to suffer. You could be doing so much better. You don't have to live like this person let you suffer for 3 years before I got to meet him. I don't know, that just has always stuck with me. And ever since then, he has fought for me. He has called insurance companies because my meds got denied. He has called pharmacies. He has done everything possible to ensure that I have the best quality of life. And I know not every story is like that. Not every doctor is like that. I know not finding the right medication right away is like that. And I just got really lucky, I feel like. And I know I'm blessed in that aspect, but I'm still really sad he's retiring.
Okay, so first of all, I'm so glad you brought up that story because I was prepared to ask you because it is such a great story. Oh my gosh, so he's retiring.
Yeah.
So does he have someone in mind that he's going to try to hook you up with, or how's this going to work?
So he is technically a PA under the doctor at this practice. And I have met with the doctor who oversees, and he knows my course of treatment. And he's actually the one that worked with Tony to make sure I had what I needed. Since I saw him, I added 2 more medications to what I already take. And this doctor is like, this is what we're going to keep doing. Tony, I see him one more time in December before he officially retires. And then he's matching me up with another PA in the office. There's 4 of them there. And he's like, this is going to be your best fit. You guys will get along really well. She's got the same type of energy that you have. She knows your lifestyle. I've talked to her about her. At this next time, we're going to meet together and go over things. He's been very clear about communication and ensuring I feel comfortable. And he told me, he goes, I think you guys will be a great fit, but maybe you won't be. And then we'll get you back with someone else, or we'll get you with the primary doctor at the office. He's like, I'm going to make sure you're taken care of, kid.
That is wonderful because I think, so many people fall through the cracks. And to be honest, I think one of the reasons I was so glad that you and I connected, which I still have no idea how we found each other.
I know.
But, we automatically had so much in common, going to a doctor that wasn't really getting you anywhere. And then we both found that magical one. Although my story was not as cute as yours. I didn't meet mine beforehand somewhere else. And then, of course, mine retired also. But I still see the PA and she's phenomenal.
That's awesome. Good. I'm glad that you have that too.
And I think, also like you, now I have to drive further because I don't live across town from her anymore. I live on the opposite side of the state. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to be near Vancouver and Portland, but I still don't want to have to start over again. So I drive the 4 hours every summer, which I'm getting ready to go here in a week. So I'm super excited to see her. Before I forget to ask you, what kind of changes have happened in your meds since we talked last about this 2 years ago?
So since then, before I even met with my new doctor, I was on Plaquenil. The crazy thing, they only wanted me to take Plaquenil because I was so young and they thought I was going to want to have children. And I kept telling them, I do not want to have children. I know this about myself. And they said, well, you're still so young. And that sticks out to me. I'm telling you, I'm not going to do that. Why are you not letting me do? I don't know. And then I got put on methotrexate, and I have been taking that. And then about a year ago, I got put on Humira shots. And that was very scary for me. Anytime adding a new medication, I feel is super scary for anyone because you never know the side effects. And I scared myself and I went online and I looked at all the bad side effects. And luckily, I have really never had any side effects to any of my medication, with the exception of when I got put on methotrexate, my hair thinned incredibly, and I have some minor bald spots in the back. I have extensions in because I'm very self-conscious about that, and they kind of cover it really well, but that was my main thing, and I was a little self-conscious about that, but I would much rather live with the ability to do things like I can now and maybe not have great hair than be in constant pain and bedridden like I was for a bit there. So the Humira has helped really well. I have a really bad ulnar drift in my right hand, and it has kind of stopped, not stopped, but like it was progressively getting worse. The pain was excruciating every single day, no matter what. Like I was taking like 4 Advil every morning, 4 in the evening. Like it was so bad. Like, and being on the Humira has really helped that. And like honestly, I have a lot of pain-free days now. So I just think the good combination of the three really helps me a lot.
That's super exciting. And I remember, you and I have gone back and forth talking about some of this different stuff. And when my hair started falling out, you were one of the people I talked to. And so my question for you is, do you have a lot of like fill in area coming in where you had bald spots?
A lot of it has kind of the grown, it looks like those fine baby hair type things over it. It's not long by any means. I don't have like huge bald spots. It's a lot of really thin and you can just kind of see the scalp more back there,
Right.
but it's kind of gotten better. I don't expect it to ever be
Right.
how it was, and I'm okay with that. So,
Well, and to be honest, I'm so jealous that you can do extensions. And as soon as this happened to me, I reached out to a local hairdresser and she dove in. She dove into my scalp and was looking everywhere. And right away, I found out that it was not an option for me because of where my hair loss is and how severe some of the spots got. It's just not an option. So I have a hair topper that has worked wonderfully, but sometimes it doesn't want to lay down properly. And so you can tell that there's a hairpiece in or something, or, if all else fails, or a hat. You never know.
yeah.
But I have, well, I don't know how well you can see. For
Okay.
those that can see and not just hear, they're about this long now. And so I was kind of curious what yours are like. And my hair does not want to lay down because it's all trying to stick up. And it's been fun, but I've been using hair wax. So I don't know if you ever tried that for your baby hairs, but I
Mm.
have it in a stick and you just kind of swipe it on a little bit and it helps lay those down. Obviously, I did not do that today. My hair's a disaster, but I got it on Amazon. I do recommend that if you need to try to lay some of those down, give it a shot.
I'll have to have you send me that link because I definitely have some back here that kind of like poke up. And I'm just like, I have nicknames for my coworkers, bless their hearts. They're like, you need to check your hair. They like Walt's hanging out. That's what I call it.
Ooh, I love that. I should give mine some nicknames.
Yeah. Try and keep it fun when I can.
My hairdresser said that I have a cowlick back here, and because it's so high up, that's why he's trying to do it.
Interesting.
So
Yeah.
it is what it is. Okay,
Exactly.
so let's see here. Let's dive into some of my suggested questions for you. I'm going to actually skip to the bottom because I think this would be fun. So, just for fun, rapid fire questions. I know the answer to some of these, but we're going to have some fun anyway. So, tea or coffee?
I am a coffee girl. Like, I am iced coffee girl. My community knows I'm the iced coffee girl. Like winter, if I haven't had an iced coffee in the day, they're like, "Are you feeling okay?" So that is me. I'm addicted, and I know Jen and I have bonded over this. We used to send pictures back and forth, like, "I got a coffee, you get a coffee." It's cute.
Yep. Yep. We haven't done that in a while, but yeah, nails and coffee. So, tell me,
Yes.
what is your favorite kind of coffee?
So we have a local coffee shop here and they have what's called Northern Lights and it's toasted marshmallow and coconut and I put coconut milk in it. I try and avoid dairy. And so I love that. I get that every single day. Love my coffee shop. I walk in there like the usual and I'm like, yep, and they have it made and ready to go. I come in about the same time every day. So they take good care of me there.
I love it. I love it. I'm gonna have you send me that concoction because I need to give it a try. I'm a caramel macchiato kind of girl, or if I do a latte, I like to do, and of course iced. But if I do a latte, it's usually cinnamon and caramel.
Ooh, I bet you that would be good. I'll have to
It
try
is
that.
it is really good, but something about a macchiato, I need to understand or learn how it is people make it because I love like the layering, beautiful effect that it has. I
Mm-hmm.
can't seem to do it at home, but maybe I haven't invested that much time into it. So, okay, next one. Morning person or are you a night owl?
I'm a night owl. I am up till like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning every single night. And then I struggle to get up. I want to be a morning person so bad. Like I tried and I'm not the best version of myself in the morning. So I just accepted it. And I know I'm a night person.
Yeah, same, same. And do you look at people like Danny, make it count for Danny, and we're like, oh my gosh, she's up at like 4 already hiking a mountain.
I want your energy in the morning. Like I feel great in the evening. In the morning, I'm just like, my bed is so cozy and toasty. I love my bed. And I don't want to get out of it. And especially in like Michigan where it gets so cold in the wintertime, I'm just like, I dread getting out of bed in the morning.
Yeah. Well, and I bet nights are, catch up on homework or movies or all the things.
Hmm.
So I can imagine your nights are kind of cozy and you want to just enjoy it. And then in the morning, it's like, do I have to?
Yeah. Work is making me.
All right. So reading a book or watching a movie?
This is another one of the things I want to be a book reader so bad. And I used to be like, I used to read all the time. And then I started going back to school and I was like, I don't want to look at any type of book. I look at enough textbooks during the day. Like, I absolutely hate reading. So I'm definitely a movie person, but I have 5 movies that I watch on repeat over and over again. And that's pretty much it. I,
Ooh,
I'm,
which ones
yeah.
are they?
Selena. I love Selena.
Okay.
The Town. Suicide Squad. Let's see. Those are the 3 main ones. Like I wrote Aaron Brockovich. That is another one I watch over and over again. I don't know why. There's no rhyme or reason to that group of movies, but they're just like comfort movies. I put them on and they make me like feel better. I don't know, and I'll have them as background noise while I'm doing homework. And I don't know. I just feel those are my comfort.
I think a lot of us have that. We have a comfort TV show or a comfort movie. And I think for me, a comfort movie would be The Holiday with Cameron Diaz.
Oh, that's a good
Always,
one.
always gotta love her. And it's just, I don't know, I like how it ends and everybody's happy. And then, Friends is always a good TV show to have in the background. And
It is. I love Friends.
right now, cooking at home or dining out?
I can't cook, so I'm a dine out type of person. Can make really good toast and spaghetti, and that's about it. So I'm a dine out person, but I love a good home cooked meal, like, though. So if someone wants to make me a home cooked meal, I'm gonna do it, or I'm gonna enjoy it. But I'm a dine out kind of.
Oh, does your husband like to cook?
He is a phenomenal cook, so I'm super lucky on that. I'm like, I want this, and he'll whip it right up for me. So I'm pretty blessed in the area. He doesn't always love that he's the only one that cooks, but he accepts me for what I am.
There you go. There you go. I don't think my husband would let me cook even if I begged. He loves to cook. He enjoys it. He's a picky eater and he loves like grilling and smoking things. And so yeah, I'm kicked out of the kitchen on it.
It's not a bad thing, right?
Not a bad thing. I don't complain too terribly. Let's see here. A beach vacation or a mountain retreat.
I guess between the two, beach. I'm the type of person like I want to go someplace and I want to learn the history of the area, like explore the towns. Like I'm a big history nerd. I would love to just lay on a beach, but I don't want to do that for multiple days in a row. Like I want to do it like for one day. I don't know. I'm a go 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 person, so like sitting still for long periods of time is nice, but it's not all I want to do on vacation.
It's like you need a mixture of the two. Is there a
Mhm.
place that you have not been yet that you're just dying to go?
Boston, just because of all the history there and the vibes and everything. Like that would be Italy is another one. I really, really so maybe we can make those two work in the next couple of years. That'd be a good goal.
Now, where is your favorite place you've been on vacation?
Oh, Switzerland. I went to Switzerland. I
Ooh.
went on a European trip in high school. We were gone for 14 days and we visited like France and Switzerland and Prague and Austria. But Switzerland was so clean. You just like felt like you were breathing the cleanest air possible, drinking the cleanest water. It was beautiful. The people were so friendly. And I don't know, it was just such a amazing place to be. I fell in love and I'm trying to hope that we can go back next year. So that's a goal of mine.
Oh, that would be amazing. And was it cold there?
So we went during July. So it was colder. Like I wore jeans and a t-shirt, but it wasn't like anything freezing. A couple of people wore shorts. I don't know. It was just like, I would say like a colder spring day.
Oh,
It
that's
was
not
nice
bad.
though, because
I can do
every place
that.
else was boiling hot. When we were in France, we were sweating. So we're like, we'll take the cold because we were like higher up in the mountains. So it was nice.
Oh, I bet you got such stunning photos. Oh, that'd be
Oh
so
my.
much fun.
Well, I went when I was in high school, which was back in 2007. So camera quality was not as great as it is now. So my photos like were great back then, but they don't look so good now. That's why I need to go back,
Oh,
take better photos.
absolutely. Well, I will trade you in a heartbeat because I'm going to age myself right here, but I am older than you. And so let's see here. I went on a choir trip to, we did Seattle, Portland, and then went up to Canada. And that was 1997. Oh, yeah. So that was high
A little
school
bit
for me.
ago.
Just a little bit older than you. And I'll tell you, I look back on those photos and I'm like, well, first of all, we were weird and the things that we did were strange, but the photos are awful. And I don't know. I look back and I'm like, we thought that was cool to wear. We liked, I don't know. Do you ever feel that way?
Well, I am in this weird headspace where like everything that I wore when I was in high school is coming back right now. And I'm just like, I hated it then. Why are we bringing it
Mm-hmm.
back now?
Oh,
So
absolutely.
I'm just like, it feels like a weird Twilight Zone. I'm like, oh, I don't want to wear that again.
Absolutely. I went to a store one day and I saw velvet shirts hanging there and I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Are we back in 1994? Because I didn't like it then and I don't like it now. Okay. So we could easily talk all these other fun things, but I'm going to take us back and let's see. Do you have any resources or support that you would recommend to somebody kind of new in their journey? Calling all Spoonies. As a host of a chronic illness podcast, nothing lights up my day more than hearing from you, our incredible listeners. Whether it's a topic close to your heart that you want us to uncover, or you are keen to show your own journey as a guest on our show, your voice matters. Living with chronic illness can often feel isolating, but through the power of podcasting, we can come together as a community to uplift, educate, and inspire one another. Your stories, insights, and questions drive the conversations we have and the topics we explore. So if there's something on your mind, a story that you are just itching to share, or a guest you'd love to hear from, don't hesitate to reach out. Your voice is not only welcomed here, but celebrated. Let's continue to amplify the voices of those living with chronic illnesses and create a space where everyone feels heard, supported, and empowered. Together, we are stronger.
So it's actually really interesting. I get DMs 2 or 3 times a month from random people and asking questions or just trying to get advice. And like, I share with them things that I know and I let them know everyone's different. What works for me is definitely not going to work for you. But I actually refer people to your community because
Aww.
not only do you like provide these fun graphics and activities and reels and everything, but like you share helpful information. And I just think like you have such a valuable resource. I view you as a hub. Like you're the hub where you go and then you disperse the resources out there and people can kind of go and find. Like I've had a couple people being like, I don't have rheumatoid arthritis, but I got connected with someone who has lupus on there and they were able to help me with other things. Or, it just like it's a giant community and we connect. And like that's probably my biggest resource is directing people to other people. Like you can read as much as you want online and you can talk to your doctors, but like unless someone is kind of experiencing the same things or can give you some like guidance on what maybe help them without trying to sell you something or push something down your throat, I feel like that's the best helpful tool. So you're my resource that I send to people or share with people.
Aww.
And of course, like I have people in my community who also have RA. I've directed them to my doctor's office. And I've had quite a few people tell me they've gotten in and they've gotten much better quality care there. So, just connecting people when you can with different things.
Well, and I think you're a little bit like me in this aspect. I think, when we were going through the beginning stages, I mean, a website is helpful, right? And finding out all the doctory things. Forgive me for my wording here, but the doctory things.
Yeah.
That's fine, but sometimes you just want to talk to somebody that gets it and has been there. And so
Hmm.
I think that was part of my goal. Like, meeting Chelsea from My Immune System Hates Me was amazing. And she knew people in all kinds of different illnesses and situations, right? And then when she said she was going to close down the podcast, I was like, no, we need something like this. And so I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I guess I'll do it, but I'm going to take it a little step further and we're going to make it like this community. And I like the way you're calling it a hub because that really was the goal. And for a few reasons. One of them being sometimes people collect illnesses. We don't want to, but you wake up one day and you start to notice some new side effects and you're talking to your doctor and you're trying to sort out what's going on. Well, if it's something that's not rheumatoid arthritis, your current community of just rheumatoid arthritis is not going to do it.
Hmm.
And they might not know. And so to have this area of where we're talking to all these different people, I love that. And so I talk to a lot of people with lupus. I have not a lot of knowledge on it. I know it's similar in some aspects to RA. I don't have it, but I like knowing and learning more from them so I can hopefully share their information or share them to other people, if that makes sense.
Makes
And
100% sense, and I think that you do a phenomenal job at that. Like, well, I know you have rheumatoid arthritis and the other things. You do a really good job of highlighting outside of that autoimmune diseases and other people's journeys that, like I kind of said, it just like kind of brings the community of autoimmune diseases and chronic issues together. So like my doctor had talked to me about Sojourn syndrome. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Like, I'm on the
oh,
cusp of that. And
okay,
like, I kind of reached out and looked for some people that have that within our community and started following them just to kind of like get an idea of like, is this something I need to pay attention to right now? Or, just kind of in the future, if I have questions, I can reach out to these people and I have that connection already established. So,
absolutely.
it's a great little community.
I agree with you. And there's so many amazing people. And I love the fact that most people in our community, it's a place to go where you're not only getting information and support, but it's not full of just negativity because you can
Hmm.
easily join a support group or go to a community of sorts. And next thing you know, it's a bunch of people whining and crying about how their life is over. And we still have so much to offer. And we still have a beautiful life laid out ahead of us. It's all
Hmm.
about how we choose to live it.
100%.
And I
That
love,
positive mindset can do wonders for you. And it's not always easy to stay positive, but like if you just try and like, at least for me, if I try and wake up and think of like what I get to be grateful for today, instead of focusing on like, wow, I can't open my hands today, or, like that sucks, but I can still walk, so I still have that. Like those positive things, like you find, I think like a lot of people within that have these chronic conditions, they do a really good job of looking at the bright side of things and seeing all that they have and all that they're able to do, and kind of realizing how often you can take things for granted, like being able to walk without a limp or, things like that. So I think that's a really positive aspect of the community too.
so how do you bring yourself back and continue to keep that positive outlook for yourself on a day-to-day basis?
Just kind of like I just said, just kind of focusing on what I get to be grateful for, what I get to do. In the very early on stages, I threw a giant pity party for myself. And I just was like, my life is over. I'm going to be disabled. I'm going to have to quit my dream job. I'm going to have to not do anything. I can't live anymore. I can't run 5Ks. I can't work out. I can't travel. I just started focusing on all the things I'm not going to be able to do. And I spiraled. And I spiraled so hard that like I got to a really dark place. And it was scary there for a little bit with myself and the mental aspect of it. And then I finally started realizing like you're self-destructing here. You cannot do this to yourself. You are not going to let this my rheumatoid arthritis, while it controls parts of my life, it cannot control my entire life. And I need to like fight back. And I just started doing one thing a day to like, at first, to be like, this is what I get to do. I get to wake up and I get to go to my job while I'm in immense pain, but I still get to go and do that while I still can. And then it kind of just snowballed into, I get to go out to lunch with my friends today. I get to do these things. And I just kind of looked at the big picture of, I need to live a big life. And that's what I want to do. I want to do all the things that I can while I still can and just be grateful. And maybe I can't do them today, but maybe I can tomorrow. And just kind of just not brainwashing yourself, but like kind of telling yourself you are grateful. You have lots of things to be grateful for, and just keep focusing on that, and don't let the negative still creeps in every now and then. I still cry and just kind of, someone will say like, oh my God, your hands, what's wrong with them? And then I'll just like break down and I'll be like, okay, I am not normal, but it's okay. We'll keep going. And, but I'm just trying to focus on the good as opposed to the bad, because I very much believe like what you focus on is what you become, or what your mentality is. So if I'm going to focus on the bad, everything's going to be bad. So if I can focus on the good, maybe the good will spread. I don't know.
Hands down, I don't think I could agree with you anymore. And I also want to tell people it's okay if you, in the beginning, mourn the life that you had. It's okay if you have some really hard days, and if you're in bed and crying about this new life that you're facing, because yes, it's hard, and yes, it's scary, but don't live there.
Yes.
Because if you live there, you're missing out on the rest of your life. You're missing out on incredible people, incredible experiences. And what fun is that?
Exactly. Because like in the beginning, this was prior to meeting you, I just was kind of like, this is what it is. And I don't even want to think about it. I don't want to like talk about it. I don't want to do anything. I want to ignore it. I would have never met you. I would have never met the community I have, and the support and the friends I've made along the way. So like, you can't, like you just said, you can't live there, because if you live there, you're going to die there. And I think you just got to get out of that. And it's hard, but it's necessary.
Absolutely. And if that means find a support group, find a support group. If it means find a coach of some sort, find one. Do the mindset work, do the work in general. I mean, I love the fact that if I'm having a hard day, I can log in, and there I see Alison drinking her iced coffee and getting her workout in and doing all the things. I see the squat challenges going on, and I'm like, okay, today's a rough day, but I don't have to live here. And I'm going to wake up tomorrow. I'm going to try again. I'm going to start all over again. And if I need to, I'm going to reach out to Alison or someone else, and I'm going to have you guys give me a little bit of a pep talk. Maybe I'll send you a picture. Maybe I'll go get my nails done. Send you a picture of my nails and just be like, okay, I need a pep talk. Give me something.
Yes.
So find your people.
The best part about a community is that like you can always reach out to someone, and they're not going to be like, oh, this person's bothering me. They're going to be like, this person needs a little pep talk, or needs to just vent it out, or just wants to chat so they can get their mind right. That's the great thing about this community.
And such a small thing can change a person's life. And so, post the thing, post the quote, post the affirmation, post the workout, because I don't know. I think if we are also getting outside of ourselves and helping support and motivate others, that turns around and helps us too, because now you have a why. Now you have a purpose.
Yes.
And that purpose is going to wake you up every morning and keep you going.
100%. And you never know who's watching. I have had dozens of people in my community that I never know, like my own town, like I live in a small town, reach out and say things like, because of you, I went and talked to my doctor about the things that are going on. Or because of you, I have the motivation to do this. Like, you never know who's truly watching you and being inspired by you, or needed your kindness or your motivation, or just, I post quotes all the time, and people are like, I needed to hear this today. And I'm not posting them for reactions, sometimes for myself, or because I think people forget that they need to appreciate and respect and cheer themselves on, different things. So you just never know who's watching, and you're helping people you have no idea you're helping. And some people will never reach out and tell you that, but just keep doing what you're doing. Keep sharing what you're sharing. It's helping
Definitely.
people.
Definitely. Okay, so my last big question for you, actually, it's not even really that big, but do you have a favorite quote?
Okay, so I have two. And the one prior to RA has always been be the change you wish to see in the world. I love that quote for many different reasons. Like, I feel like if you can make a difference in your community, make a difference in your community. If you can give back, give back. If you don't see something you like happening, make that change. You can do it. And then the second one is live a big life. I so often people get scared to celebrate themselves and share their happiness or their struggles or anything like that because they're afraid of how people react. The internet can be a wonderful and horrible place at the same time. And I just think if you can celebrate your life and live a big life, do all the things, who cares if people don't like a certain thing, just share
Yep.
it anyways. It's your life. Post it for yourself, share it for yourself, live a big life, and, just celebrate as many things as you can.
I'm writing this down right now because I don't want to forget. Although I'm trying to look at you and type at the same time. So it came out saying, live a bug life. I love it. I think that needs to be your new tagline. Live a
Live a
big
big
life.
life.
Yeah.
I use that
Yep.
hashtag all the time on a bunch of my stuff. And I just think that, life is so short and so precious. You should just go for it if you can. Just do the things, eat the food, talk to the people, watch the
Yep.
shows, travel wherever. Just live big life.
Yeah. And if tomorrow was a hard one, get up tomorrow, dust yourself off, start all over again, and live a big life.
Yes.
I love it.
I love it.
All right. Is there anything that we did not talk about or go over that you think is important we should add?
No, we kind of hit everything. My big thing that I always like to share, because my story is, if you are not happy with the doctor you're seeing, do not be afraid to get a second, third, fourth, fifth, however long it takes. There are doctors and physicians and PAs out there that want you to feel better and live your best life. And I hope that everyone has a Tony someday in their life, or someone who cares about them and fights for them and advocates them like my doctor does. That is what I want for everyone. But don't be afraid. You're not stuck with that doctor because you were referred to them. It's not the end all be all. Keep going until you can find someone who wants you to live your best life.
Definitely. Okay, well, keep us updated. I'm anxious to find out how this goes as you switch over to someone new. And oh gosh, I can only imagine that the day that you say goodbye is going to be a hard one.
I almost cried when he told me he was retiring. I'm like, Tony. He's like, I know, kid. I know. He's like, but my wife retired 3 years ago and she wants me to retire. And I'm like, okay, she deserves that.
And they probably have a family and want to do all the big things and travel. And
yeah.
Unfortunately, we have to get it.
Yeah. Darn it.
Well, gosh, I hope you have a really, really good vacation. And
thank you.
Well, my Spoonie sisters, until next time, don't forget your spoon, but make sure you live a big life while doing it. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast are for general information only. Consult your own physician for any medical issues that you may be having. The information should not be taken as a replacement for medical, clinical, professional advice, diagnoses, or medical intervention. My Spoonie sisters and guests will not be held liable for any of the consequences of such action or inaction. Trigger warning. Some episodes may cover sensitive topics including, but not limited to, suicide, abuse, mental illness, and chronic disease. You are advised to refrain from listening if you are likely to be offended or adversely impacted by any of these topics. None of the guests or hosts will be responsible for your use of the information contained therein. Life is not merely to be alive, but to be well. Living a life with a chronic illness is best described with one word: unpredictable. Be Well's products are designed to make the unpredictable easier to deal with. Back when I was getting my infusions, I would have loved to have their adult zip hoodie. They even have one in pink. They also have everything from one-day pill holders to urgency buckets. So remember, They want to make your life a little easier. So be sure to check out Be Well.